Good day, grade 11s, parents and guardians. This is Bongiwe Mdingi, a student recruitment practitioner from the Division for Student Recruitment. So in this video, we are going to talk about Stellenbosch University. Briefly about Stellenbosch, we are going to check which programs you can apply for at Stellenbosch University, and I'm going to touch on the importance of grade 11 final results. Okay, let's talk briefly about Stellenbosch University. Stellenbosch University has around 32,500 registered students, and 3,700 of these students are international students, and they come from 104 countries. And after hearing this, you'll realize that Stellenbosch is a melting pot of cultures. So Stellenbosch University, question is, what do we offer? So at Stellenbosch, we have 10 faculties across 5 campuses, and we have around 74 undergraduate programs. So out of the 10 faculties, there are 4 faculties that will accept you if you are taking Maths Lit. The rest of the faculties, you need pure maths. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. Even though in this faculty you need pure maths, life science, and physical science. If you are taking Maths Lit, you can apply for a program like nursing. So you can do nursing with Maths Lit, or either Maths Lit or pure maths. So there are exceptions in every faculty, right? So now the next question is, why do students choose Stellenbosch University? So majority of our students, they choose Stellenbosch because of academic excellence. All right, the next video is going to show you our beautiful campus. And if you have time, you can always visit the campus, because unfortunately we cannot explain everything. Some of the things we have to experience. You have to come to campus and experience, walk around campus, all right? So let's see what the campus looks like.
Who we become depends on the choices we make. And what we choose is influenced by what we think, what we learn, what we dream. Who we become is shaped by what we stand for. Because when we uphold others' dignity, appreciate diversity and work for equality, we are our best selves. Who we become is inspired by the people around us. Our mentors, our teachers, our family, our colleagues, our friends. Who we become and what we achieve is the sum of all the opportunities we embrace, all the roads we travel. Discover Stellenbosch University, where who you become will transcend even your own expectations. Where we stand together, where we move forward together.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. You see what is waiting for you in grade 13. You're now in grade 11, and you can see what is waiting for you in grade 13. So now we come to grade 11 marks. We need to touch briefly on grade 11 marks. At Stellenbosch, you apply, now you are in grade 11, we need to realize that this report, the final, your December report, this is the report that you are going to use to apply next year when you are in grade 12. So you are going to use your report, your final report, to apply next year when you do your grade 12. And then I need to mention that at the university, when you apply next year, I need to differentiate between minimum requirements and selection criteria. So if you go to www.matis.com, you will find our prospectus. So our prospectus has the 74 programs that we mentioned earlier, and then it will show you the key subjects for each program that we offer and the minimum requirements, how much you need to get in, or how much you need to be considered, rather. So for example, if you want to do a BCom, a Bachelor of Accounting, all right? So the minimum in the booklet is 70%, for example. Aggregate is 70%, and you also need 70% for mathematics. But the chances are you will not get in with 70, right? So that is just the minimum. There's minimum, and then there's selection. So when we select from the top. So we rank the students. So we start when you get in, when you apply to get in, we select from the top. So we rank the students. If in the booklet, medicine, the minimum is 75%, I promise you, you will not get in with 75. So minimum for medicine is 75, but you will not be selected if your aggregate is 75. That is just the minimum. So the selection, maybe the cutoff might be 90%, cutoff might be 85%. It all depends on the quality in the pool. So we cannot tell you in advance what the cutoff will be. It depends on how good the results are in that particular year. And then again, these grade 11 marks, these are the marks that you are going to use to apply for RES. So everything depends on these marks, everything, all right? So to apply for a program, we are going to look at your grade 11 results. For provisional acceptance, we're going to look at grade 11 marks. And then if you apply for RES, you have to qualify. We're also going to look at your grade 11 marks. So you have to qualify for a space in RES. So grade 11 marks are very important. And also with bursaries, everything. So when you want to apply for a bursary, we're also going to look at your grade 11 marks. So I hope grade 11 is treating you well. I hope those marks are smiling. And I hope in this next semester of grade 11, I hope you are going to finish strong. And then again, if you want to change subjects, sometimes the learners, they change their subjects. So you have to change the subjects as early as possible. Because, for example, if you are taking pure maths, and then you and pure maths, you don't have a good relationship with pure maths. So let's say your maths marks are crying, and now you're thinking of changing to maths lit. So I suggest that you change that like early in grade 11 so that maths lit appears in your grade 11 report. But if you only change next year in grade 12, you will apply with pure maths marks. So maybe if you didn't do well in pure maths, and then you apply next year with pure maths, your application will be unsuccessful based on the program. It depends on the program that you're applying for. Your application might be unsuccessful. But even if your application is unsuccessful, we'll still look at your grade 12 final results. So if you apply next year, maybe you got 30%, for example. I hope you're not getting 30%, but if you got 30% in pure maths in grade 11, and now in grade 12, you want to apply for, maybe you want to apply for law, you want to apply for LLB with 30%, your application will be unsuccessful because of that 30%. But if you improve in grade 12, in the final, after taking maths lit, after changing to maths lit, maybe now you get 70%, you might get in. All right, so I hope you understand that. So now, we're going to look at the different programs, the different faculties that we have at Stellenbosch University. Let's see where these grade 11 marks can take you. So the first thing that I'm mentioning, or I'm going to mention, is the programs that you can get into with maths lit. I'm going to differentiate between maths lit and pure maths. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're taking maths lit, you can get into the Faculty of Theology, you can do education, you can join the law faculty. You can also join arts and social sciences with maths lit. And then if you are taking pure maths, you can get into agri-sciences. Of course, you need pure maths and physics. Pure maths and physical science to get into agriculture. If you want to get into health sciences, medicine and health sciences, you need pure maths, you need life science, and you need physical science. For engineering, you need pure maths and you need physical science. And also, if you want to do a BSc, if you want to get into the science faculty, you also need pure maths and physical science. And again, as I mentioned earlier, there are exceptions. For example, in the science faculty, if you want to do computer science, physical science is not compulsory. All right? So there are exceptions in every faculty. Now we start with, we're going to talk briefly about these faculties. So the first faculty that we're going to touch on is agri-sciences. So I need to mention that in agri-sciences, we don't train farmers. All right? Did you hear that? In agri-sciences, we don't train farmers. We train scientists. So we have here a lot of programs that we can apply for. We also have a BSc in viticulture and oenology. So if you want to turn water into wine, you come to Stellenbosch University. You can do a BSc in viticulture and oenology. Then we come to the science faculty. So in the science faculty, as I mentioned, we have, for example, computer science, a BSc in computer science. We've got a BSc in sports science. So if you want to get into computer science, physical science is not compulsory. And then you can also study a program like a BSc in earth science, where you can become a geologist. So there is so much. We are offering so much more. Okay, you are spoiled for choice. Then we go now to health sciences. So in health sciences, that is where you can apply to be a medical doctor. So where you need physics, life science, and pure maths. And now in this faculty, we see a lot of students who are interested in becoming medical doctors, but their marks are crying. So it doesn't mean just because we have physical science, pure maths, and life science, you can just apply for medicine. You need to check the marks. You need a combination for all these programs, not just medicine, for all the programs. You need to check that you've got the right subjects and the correct marks, and realize that the correct subjects, they get you to the door, but the correct marks, they get you inside, all right? So you need to get inside. So we see a lot of students who are not doing well in mathematics or in physical science, maybe getting around 50% and 60%, all right? And then you want to apply for medicine. You will not get in with 60% in medicine. You will not get into engineering if your maths is below 70. So make sure if you want to go for medicine, make sure your aggregate is above 80%. Aggregate should be above 80% to stand a chance of being selected in medicine. The closer you are to 90%, the better. You need to be closer to 90%. So there are a lot of programs, a lot of options in that faculty. You can do nursing, you can become you can do physiotherapy, you can do occupational therapy. There are a lot of options in that faculty. And now I'm going to move to engineering. Engineering, make sure that if you've got 70%, the minimum that you need to get into engineering is 70% in mathematics. And again, even your aggregate for engineering, your aggregate should be 70%. But remember what I mentioned earlier, that 70% is just the minimum. So there is no guarantee. Even if you've got your 70% in maths, even if your aggregate is 70%, there is no guarantee that you will get in. Meeting the minimum requirements does not guarantee acceptance. Then in engineering, I must mention that the first year of engineering is the same, all right? So it's possible that in your first year, maybe you apply for civil engineering, and then in your second year, you can change maybe to industrial engineering or mechanical engineering. But that first year, that excludes data engineering, all right? So all the other programs, the first year is the same, excluding data engineering. And now we come to EMS, the Economic and Management Sciences. And then in this faculty, even if you want to do a BCom in accounting, you need to realize that accounting as a subject in high school is not compulsory. So the key subject here is mathematics, all right? Even if you don't take accounting in high school, you can still apply for a BCom. And then again, let's say you want to be a chartered accountant, the minimum that you need to apply for Bachelor of Accounting is 70% in maths, all right? So I hope your aggregate in grade 11 is above 70, because majority of students on campus, they are 70%ers. So I hope your average is above 70%. But even if it's above 70, acceptance is not guaranteed because spaces are limited. And now we move over to arts and social sciences. So in arts and social sciences, for example, if you want to become a psychologist, you can apply for a BA in humanities. And you can become a psychologist even if you're taking Maths Lit. So if you're taking Maths Lit, you can apply for a BA in humanities, and then you specialize in psychology. If you're taking pure maths, you can also apply for BA in humanities even if you're taking pure maths, but we also have another option in economic and management sciences, the previous faculty. So you can apply for industrial psychology if you have pure maths. But if you don't have pure maths, you want to become a psychologist, you can apply for a BA in humanities. Now we get to education. So for education, you need to decide which foundation do you want to teach. Do you want the little ones there from grade R to grade 3, which is foundation phase, or you want the next phase, which is intermediate phase? We also have a senior phase. But if you want to teach grade 10, 11, and 12, which is the senior phase, we don't offer that at Stellenbosch. So what you do, if you want to teach in senior phase, let's say you want to be a physics teacher. If you want to teach physical science in grade 12, you must first have a qualification, undergraduate qualification in physics. So you can do a BSc in physics. Once you qualify, you can apply for PGCE, which is Postgraduate Certificate in Education. So we don't offer senior phase, but you must first qualify. If you want to teach accounting, if you want to teach accounting in high school, grade 10, 11, and 12, you need to have an accounting qualification. Maybe do Bachelor of Accounting. Then once you have qualified, then you can go for PGCE. Apply for PGCE, which is Postgraduate Certificate in Education. Then you'll be a qualified teacher. Then the next thing, or the next faculty, is law faculty. So in the law faculty, you can get in with either mathematics or Maths Lit. And then the minimum that you need is 70%. So the programs that we offer in that faculty, we have LLB, we have BA Law, where you can get in with Maths Lit, either Maths or Maths Lit. We also have BCom Law and BArch LLB. So for these programs, BArch LLB and BCom Law, you need pure maths. And for BArch LLB, your aggregate should be around 80%. BCom Law, around 70%. And pure maths is compulsory. So you can't do BArch LLB or BCom Law with Maths Lit. You need pure maths. But for BA Law and LLB, you can apply with Maths Lit. And then if you want to apply for law in grade 12, you have to write the National Benchmark Test, so the NBTs. So the law faculty is the only faculty at Stellenbosch that is using the NBTs, the National Benchmark Test. The rest of the faculties are not using the National Benchmark Test. So now you are done with your qualification, you have decided what you want to do. Now you have to start working. So when you start working, your qualification will give you the theory and the practical, practical skills and the theoretical knowledge, but that is not enough. That is the theory and practical that you get from your qualification is just not enough. So you need more. You need what we call soft skills. You need to have, when you start working, you need to have problem-solving skills. There's much more that you need, all right? You need to have a caring attitude towards other people. You need emotional intelligence. You must be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, all right? So there is much more. So this is a journey. So there are a lot of other things that you learn in class, or other things you learn, other skills you acquire outside the classroom, all right? So, but it's a journey, and you learn as you go along, all right? So all I'm saying is the qualification is just not enough. It's the same as sport. If you participate in sport, there are lessons that you learn in sport that you don't learn in class. So it is important to find that balance. So when you come to university, you don't just focus on your studies. You must also maybe play some sport, all right? So find the balance. There are lessons you learn in sport that sometimes you don't learn in class. So now I'm going to give you some tips for choosing a career. So the first thing, you have to know yourself. Know what your goals are and your dreams. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? What legacy do you want to leave? What are you good at? What are your natural talents? So what are you good at? And then you also need to do your research. So visit our open day. Visit the open day and attend those mini lectures in the open day. And then also do some job shadowing. It's very important because sometimes a program, a career might sound fancy, or you think this speaks to you, or it's something that you would like to do. But until you do job shadowing, then you might realize that this is not for you. This is not you. This is not what you thought it was. So it's important to do that job shadowing before you apply. And then if you don't know what you want to study, you can also complete this PACE, the questionnaire, PACE Career Questionnaire. It will assist you. So PACE Career Questionnaire, we have like 100 questions. So you go to gostudy.net, and then there are 100 questions that you have to answer, and realize that there's no wrong answer. So it's just a yes and no. You take the questionnaire, and then it's just a yes and no, and there are 100 of these, and this is not going to take a lot of your time. The maximum that you'll take is like 10 minutes. I know some students who finish this questionnaire in 5 minutes. So I would say this takes around 10 minutes, depending on how fast you are, all right? So you take the questionnaire, answering all of that. So the questionnaire is testing your personality, your aptitude, all right? So once you are done with the questionnaire, once you have answered all 100 questions, then you are going to get a report. This is how the report looks like. So those are your results. The nice thing about this report is this is where you don't fail. You know, here it's impossible to fail. This just shows the strong fields. Okay? So as you can see in this one, so this particular student scored 80% in information technology, another 80% in science and mathematics and finance, all right? So with this student, we would recommend, for example, a BSc or a BCom in mathematical science, because the students got high in science and mathematics. And finance, you can do a BCom, all right? So it depends. And then again, you will see which faculties you have to stay away from. So here, when you look at this, you can see maybe this one scored low in visual arts. So we do have a BA in visual arts, but this one scored like 20%. So if you scored 20% in any program, please stay away from that program. Don't apply for that program if you scored 20%. So this questionnaire, it guides you. These results, it guides you, okay? They guide you. So again, if, for example, you don't know if they are talking about science and mathematics, and then you don't know which programs do we offer in that faculty, or you don't know what that is, then you click on science and mathematics, then it's going to explain what that is and which programs we offer. It can even give you the bursaries that we have. Then once you are done, you can email these results, because this is not, you need to study this, you know, you can't do this in 10 minutes and you are done. So when you have more time, you can just browse through, read more, and do more research. Check which institutions are offering which programs. So if you need more information, if you want to visit our campus, you can book an advisory session, And the email address is csr@san.ac.za. That is where you can book the advisory session. Maybe you want some classroom experience when you want to visit the campus. So feel free to book an advisory session. And I must mention that the advisory sessions are free of charge. So you are also welcome to call 021-808-4709 to book that advisory session. And then you're also welcome to send me an email. There is my email address. So it's bongiwe@san.ac.za. That is where you can contact me. And then if you've got more questions, you can also contact our client services at info@san.ac.za. And the number, if you want to prefer to call, is 021-808-9111. Okay, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to welcoming you to Stellenbosch University. Let us go forward together. Sam Forentu, Sonke Masie Pambili. Thank you.